After 400 miles under the lights in Chicagoland, one of the dominant cars came out on top. For Mark Martin, it's his 39th career win, 4th win this season, and 1st at Chicagoland. But perhaps more importantly, it's a huge birthday gift for car owner Rick Hendrick. And now Mark Martin is sitting P11 in Sprint Cup points. And as of right now, that puts him in the chase for the Sprint Cup. A great team decision. In the end, he had to hold off a charging Jeff Gordon, but in the end, it was Mark Martin, this 50-year-old driver, back in victory lane again. Hello, everybody. I'm John Roberts, alongside of Kenna Wallace and Jimmy Spencer. And guys, if you want excitement, you got it by virtue of the double file restart and two of the best in the business up front.
That was absolutely incredible. We saw the biggest change of events that I can remember seeing in a race in a long time. Mark Martin dominating the race. Jimmy Johnson gets the outside on a double foul restart shootout style, gets by him. And Kenny, I said, hey, this is all over. Well, you know what?
It was not over.
Another caution, reversal roll. Look at what happens. Jeff Gordon's pit. I mean, it's long.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. These double foul restarts have changed the face of NASCAR. Just because what Jimmy Spencer said. Mark Martin going to win it? No. The 48's on the outside. He's going to win it? No. They start side by side again, and here comes the 11 car. No. And I mean, 4 times this double foul restarts, and finally when they wreck, Martin gets back to the win. Mark Martin, race fans, let me see. 4 wins, 3 poles at 50 years old. Unbelievable.
A lot of reason for this team to celebrate, because this was a hard-fought win along the way, and that smile is back on Mark Martin's face. You know, he said right now he's so focused on this championship, and there is car owner Rick Hendrick. He's happy. He knew one way or another, chances are, he was going to have one of his cars in victory lane tonight. Let's take a quick look at the highlights. Much more highlights later on, but here was what brought out the caution late in the race. Kyle Busch blew up. That was the caution, set up another double file restart shootout style, and here was the brain trust.
Okay, which lane should we start in? Are you okay up top? I don't know. You know, if he starts up top, he's going to. Here's the way I look at it, Mark. If you can get a good enough restart clear, we'll go. If he can start with you, he's going to suck you around, or at least try like hell.
Now here's the restart Mark Martin and Alan Gustafson were talking about. The he they were talking about was Jeff Gordon. He had fresher tires. They decided to start on the outside, and Mark Martin simply took off from there. Jeff Gordon gave chase, was not able to get him. Casey Kane was trying, Denny Hamlin was trying, but tonight belonged to Mark Martin. He is back in the championship hunt, and now he leads everyone with 4 victories. There's the brains of the operation. He made the call, and you know Alan Gustafson was breathing a huge sigh of relief, because this number 5 team is back in victory lane once again. What an amazing performance by those guys, because they had a charging Jeff Gordon right next to him with much fresher tires, 38-lap fresher tires.
And you know what I've taken from this is, you know, earlier in our show, you know, the Home Depot show this morning, we heard about the drivers. You know, Tony Stewart talking about his crew chief. We heard it, you know, in Mark Martin. So many of these guys talk about the crew chief, and there it came to fruition. Mark has so much confidence in his crew chief. What should I do? Alan Gustafson giving him the confidence, explaining to him what he thought the scenario would be. You know what, Kenny? That's great teamwork.
And you know, I think one of these new NASCAR rules is what helped Mark Martin win. Last year, NASCAR said, look, we're going to start a new restart area. We're going to mark a double foul red line here, and then a single mark here. You can start in this area. It's like 120 foot, okay? That's why Mark the Kid Martin gets such a good restart, because that way you can jackrabbit that guy. It's like, you know, Jeff Gordon's sitting there. Where's Mark going to start? Is he going to start here, here, here? Mark said, boom, he's gone. And that got him the lead, so that was a good rule last year.
And another new rule that had a big outcome on this race tonight was the fact that the leader gets the choice of starting on the inside or the outside. The number 5 team chose to stay on the outside, and it provided them with a win.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate. Brought to you in part by Weed and by Mike's Hard Punch. Mix up a whole new party.
Tonight, race fans, we saw the 9th race in the history of Chicagoland Speedway. We also saw the 19th race of the season. Time is running out on the championship contenders, and Mark Martin has struck a big blow for his team because he is now in championship contention. And you see that ear-to-ear grin on a 50-year-old racer, you know that something good happened tonight. We saw something great on the racetrack as this thing came right down to the wire with 4 potential winners all the way up to the last restart. Let's take you back to the green flag, which waved under sunny skies, clear conditions, beautiful day, a little hot. Part of the racetrack is in the shade, the rest of it is in the sunlight.
Yeah, and immediately we see this track starting to widen out. I mean, this is the first lap, but what I'm getting at here is look at this, 2 and 3 wide racing already. Look at this move by Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. They said, you know what, guys, we're in this, baby. We're going to start making some things happen.
Now, we have seen before that Brian Vickers has got one of his 5 pole positions this year, and he did not go on to lead a lap. Today, he made no question about it. He was going to get those 5 bonus points right away.
There's no question, Kenny, that this Red Bull team has to pick it up. Red Bull's spending a lot of money. They have to start showing some results in these races, and Vickers trying to do it here.
Brian Vickers, here he is, the 48 taking the lead, but I must say, the last 10 laps, Brian Vickers was leading, but the double foul restart kind of messed him up, you know, going into turns 1 and 2. So he was there at the end, and he ended up finishing 7th spot for Brian Vickers.
The beginning of this race was very clean and very green. Only 2 cautions early on. There's a spring rubber on the racetrack. Caution. Jay Bree.
Well, you know, fans, why? Why throw a caution for that? Well, if a tire picks that up, it could puncture a tire. It also could go through a competitor's radiator. The key here is that is debris. Legitimate caution. Here we go. Now, this is a problem here, Johnny.
You don't see this very often.
Well, they jacked the car up. They missed. He jacked it up again. He got it right. But you know what? Something went a mess on that pit stop because that really messed the 48 team up there.
Yeah, and he came out 7th, Spence, so he was leading and came out 7th because of that.
And once again, you just don't see that very often from that number 48 team. Here's the race back off pit road, and you see Mark Martin just barely beats out Brian Vickers.
Well, Brian Vickers had the preferred position on pit road like Tony did last week, but his crew wasn't up to the task tonight.
And once again, on these double file restarts, leader gets the call. Does he want to start on the inside or the outside? And this time, Mark Martin decided to go for the inside.
You know, I got to say something about Mark the Kid Martin. He qualified in the teens, like 15th, 13th, and he was running 3rd before the first caution. So at this point, we're saying, wow, it's Mark's time.
And this is his type of racetrack too, Kenny. But here's a guy, let's face it, this 48 car is coming back through the field. Here he is passing the Cheerios car, Clint Boyer, for 3rd position, Johnny.
And Jimmy Johnson was not to be denied as he kept working his way back. Anytime something happened, you can trust that driver, number 48, to make it back up through the field. Let's take a look at the 14. A very bad qualifying spot. Started in the 30s, and Kenny Wallace, it didn't take him long at all to get up in the top 10.
Tony right now is on a roll with his crew chief, Darian Grubb. Even when they're not happy in practice, they're good enough to get up inside the top 10. But the biggest surprise right now is that 18. He starts up front, he goes to the back. And when I say back, I'm talking like 20th spot.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about, fans. This is very rare. Remember last year, this car wins this race. Makes a great move to pass the 48. Tonight, not looking good. Now here he is, he gets into the wall. Watch this, all by himself.
A little loose.
This guy, fans, don't know what it is to quit. I like that in Kyle Busch. Unfortunately, he was in for a long night.
Now this is kind of strange to see this. Scott Speed had a fantastic starting position, started outside of row number 1, and here he is going a lap down to the dominant car at this point of Mark Martin.
But I must say, Mark Martin was lapping everybody, just like you hear he's lapping Kyle Busch. Mark Martin went on a tear in this point in the race, and look, he's even...
And Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, he's even lapping Matt Kenseth, so Mark went on a tear, and everybody was going, my gosh, he's going to lap the field.
Well, the key here, fans, why? Look at him on the bottom of the racetrack, massaging that throttle. Kenny, you're big on seeing that throttle massage. He likes these types of racetracks.
Want to see a great job of driving right here by 2 of the best in the business, the 99 of Carl Edwards and Jeff Gordon. Look at the job these guys do to hold on to these cars.
Well, there's no question. Those guys both should have crashed.
On board with Junior.
Watch this, fans. Watch this.
Watch the 99 on the bottom. Sideways.
That is fantastic. Fans, tell me, these guys aren't driving?
Oh, yeah, and let me tell you something. Jeff Gordon looked like he was at Macon on the cushion. I mean, he was saving it the whole time.
This is Tony Stewart. Remember, he started down in the 30s. This is him going for 3rd position.
And the thing is, Kenny just alluded to it, that one thing for sure, they talk about their car in whole 9 yards. They're smart enough, that Darian Grubb-led crew, Tony Stewart, past champion, smart enough to get the job done.
Danger around every corner, even in the pits. Here's a 14 to Tony Stewart after a fantastic pit stop once again, and just barely gets by A.J. Allmendinger.
But you know what was really good was Darian Grubb, the crew chief, says, outside, outside, whoa, Tony, whoa, Tony. So it is the crew chief's job, to tell Tony Stewart somebody's coming. Why? Because of the new seats. You can't see out the right side, so Spence, Darian Grubb saved, Tony Stewart from running into that car.
And I'm going to bring it up again. Teamwork. It's not all about the drivers, it's the team. Darian Grubb, Tony Stewart, why are they leading the points? Teamwork. Why is Alan Gustafson and Mark Martin sitting there with their team? Teamwork. That's the key, Johnny.
It's all about people here. We got to take a quick break. That's 200 laps. When we come back, we'll pick it back up with lap number 201 and take you all the way to the checkered flag. Little congratulations from a teammate as these guys duked it out. Second place, Jeff Gordon, and first place, Mark Martin. Welcome back, everyone, to Chicagoland Speedway, one of the newest state-of-the-art facilities in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and we saw a whale of a finish tonight. Probably about 5 cars figured into this thing, and it was Mark the Kid Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, who came out on top for his 4th victory of the season. Congratulations all around from all the Hendrick Motorsports teammates, as they always do. They're in there congratulating each other because it's all teamwork over there, as Mr. Spencer told us just a moment ago. Let's go back to the highlights with 67 laps to go, and this is where it got very interesting. The new double file restart shootout style was all over the place. Sam Hornish in the 77, tough break for him.
The 20 car of Joey Logano accidentally, gets up into the 77. Sends him for a ride here. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, uh-oh, what's going on? His window nut's not down. Why does this smoke keep continually coming out of the car? And right at this point, guys, I'm worried, like, is he okay? But he ends up being all right, Spence.
I am too, Kenny. I'm a little nervous right now, but the thing is here, fans, is that don't panic, because the drivers, being one, Kenny, you being one, we're very hard-headed. He's going to sit in the car. He's trying to get the thing started and moving.
All right, back to another one of the restarts. Mark Martin on the inside. He got the choice. Jimmy Johnson on the outside. Mark Martin starts to pull away, but he's got some great drivers and great cars following him.
And notice that, Johnny. Mark Martin took the inside groove. There's Jimmy Johnson on the outside. Mark got a lesson on that restart right there.
And a lesson taught by one of the masters, Jimmy Johnson, of course, one of the very few tracks he has not won on yet. And it looked like towards the end of this might be a Jimmy Johnson kind of a night on a 1.5-mile racetrack.
But I don't know about you, fans, but I am enjoying this. Look at this, 2 wide. Look at, there's Denny Hamlin and Vickers side by side. Look at all the way back through there, 2. There's 3 wide. Harvick in the middle there. There's Boyer. Kenny, the end result here is these double file restarts are awesome.
And look at this. The 98 and the 88 get together. Junior gets into the 98. Blown left rear towel. Now, oh no, Jeff Burton. Where's Jeff Burton? We want him to be in the top 12 in the points. Oh no,
Bam.
Jeff Burton. Way out of the top 12 in the points now. Does not look like he has luck on his side.
And bad break for Scott Speed as well. Again, he started outside of row number 1. Here's another look at the get-together between the 98 and the 88, and then the aftermath.
And fans, let me say something. That 98 car was on the lead lap, running strong. They just got pretty close. Ended up cutting left rear tire down. End result here is ruins John Menard's night, and he did not need that because he needed a solid run. He didn't get it.
Paul Menard, ruined John Menard.
Paul Menard, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, Mark Martin on the inside again. Because Jimmy Johnson says, no. I'm the leader now. I'm taking the outside. He goes back to work, and Mark says, holy cow, I'm beat.
Brian Vickers is still in here figuring around. He has a chance to make a run on Jimmy Johnson as well.
Now look, race fans, this is 20 laps to go. Okay, the 48's gone, so you're thinking, okay, the race is over. The 48's going to win. He goes out to a huge lead, and the 0-0, here he comes. He gets into the wall, and we're saying, oh my gosh, looky here. The Rudiman is in the wall. We're going to have another double file restart.
And, that's one Pablo and Rudiman. They were running around 11th or 12th, and it ended up being just good, hard race in there. But, here's the final restart here. At least that's what we think.
We think it's going to be the final restart. There's still a whole lot of wrecking to be going on here. And Jimmy Johnson on the high side, Brian Vickers on the low side, and it's not too sure what's going to happen. Here comes Denny Hamlin.
Well, let's face it, Denny Hamlin has got them run. He says, I want to win a race too. He pushes the issue on Jimmy Johnson, moves him up the racetrack a little bit. Vickers gets the lead on this move, Kenny.
And right now, it's total chaos. Let's wreck, everybody. Let's go ahead and wreck. I don't care what's going to happen. I want to win this race. Now watch here. Okay, the 48, boom, the 2's mad. Watch the 2. Bang,
Bonk.
There you go. I mean, it's getting wild now. Down
24 on the apron. Well, the thing is why did Kurt do that? Well, the 48 pushes the issue, runs himself up and into Kurt. Kurt says, you know what, I don't like that. He moves down, takes both of them, and they're no longer a factor.
This is a battle for second place. Remember, Jeff Gordon came in on lap number 248, got 4 tires, and now those tires are paying off.
You said it, JR. Couldn't have said it any better. You know, this team, the 24 team, Steve Letarte said, let's pit. And now he's got really good tires.
And what's interesting, he started 10th on the restart. He's up there contending for the win in second.
Here goes Kyle Busch. The end to a bad night took him out of the top 12 in points, as we will see later. And here is the last restart. Let's take a look at where the 5 is.
Whoa.
He decided, along with Alan Gustafson, to choose a spot on the racetrack that was good enough for him to pull out and hold off a charging Jeff Gordon. They were worried about how good that car was and how good Jeff Gordon was.
And look at this, fans. There's there's Jeff Gordon, the 9-car Casey Kane race, and Casey takes the outside for second. This is absolutely phenomenal race, and I'm telling you, these guys are driving their hearts out, Kenny. Don't forget, 2 laps to go.
You know what I like about this? This is like a dash at Macon Speedway. 6 laps to go. They go crazy. They want to wreck. They don't care.
For the 39th time in his career, 4th this season, and first time at Chicagoland Speedway, Mark Martin is in victory lane, thanks much in part to crew chief Alan Gustafson and the rest of this team that worked very hard all night long because they were dominant, and in the end, sometimes the dominant car does not win. Well, that happened tonight.
Oh, Mark's getting so old he looks like a wrinkled raisin.
I'm going to tell him he said.
Hey, I don't care.
Hey, I don't think he's going to care either.
Big story here tonight. Casey Kane finishing 3rd, secures that top 12 in points. Tony Stewart from some bad pit stops rallies for 4th. Denny Hamlin, another solid run, guys. He needs it. He needs to also win, but that's a good run for him.
And the big story, Earnhardt, Ganassi, can Juan Pablo stay in the top 12? Another top 10 finish.
And
another great finish by Marcus Ambrose.
Let's give credit quickly to the Cheerios car. Childress is bleeding, stopped a little bit. He needs it and have a tough luck. But you know what, Johnny, you're right, Marcus. But how about David Rudiman? There's another guy challenging for this top 12, Kenny.
Let's run the presses. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 15th, yes!
All right, Matt Kenseth, Reed Sorensen, and David Reagan, along with David Stremme and Elliott Sadler in the 27th spot. Casey Mears, Elliott, and Johnny Andretti round out your top 30.
These guys here just were off all night long. Brad Keselowski was running a lot better than that. Kyle Busch was terrible all night long. Robbie Gordon was in and out of the pits. You know, we saw what happened to John Menard. He got caught up in that wreck with Earnhardt. You know, at the end of the day, these results sometimes don't show how hard these guys drove and the deserving finishes they needed.
I agree with you.
Now let's take a look at the points because we got a whole lot of shaking going on here right now as Tony Stewart has a 175-point lead over Jeff Gordon.
Hang on a second.
Look who's in and look who's out.
Hang on a second. Casey Kane the 8th, Juan Pablo the 9th, Kenny. That's the story.
And I guarantee you, look at Kyle Busch. He stayed in the top 12. This is fantastic news.
Oh, only 3 points, Kenny.
Yes, at one moment in the race, he was in 13th. So good news for Kyle Busch.
Wow, that is
the biff. The biff is the one who got shuffled out, so therefore Matt Kenseth would make it back
Oh, my God.
So a lot of racing going on. We now have 7 to go before the chase cutoff. And let's take a look now at our Valvoline Guaranteeing the Win segment of the show. And no one guaranteed a win quite like Mark Martin did, coming from the starting position of number 1. And he took away the win, and he will join us next on NASCAR Victory Lane. After a whale of a thunderstorm the other day, we got a beautiful evening here in Joliet, Illinois, but nothing looked more beautiful to Mark Martin, though, than seeing that checkered flag in the end of this one for the 4th time this season. Want to congratulate Mark Martin and the number 5 team on another great effort, 4th win this season. And Mark, tell us about, we played it just a moment ago, the conversation between you and Alan Gustafson and the trust we heard and the confidence we heard in those two voices that were talking about what to do at the end.
We're just growing. You know, we're growing a lot. And you know, I wanted him to back up our lane choice. He started wanting to ask that earlier, and I said radio silence is in order right now. You know, because that was earlier when I didn't want the 48 to know, you know, what we were going to do or where our Achilles heel was, you know. But, yeah, we decided to go on the outside of the 24 because I was afraid him with those new tires sucked me around like the 48 had, you know, the run before. Car is just so strong. I mean, the double file restarts are really set up to mess that up. I mean, that's how you gonna make it exciting. You're gonna mess up the best car, right? And kind of jumble it up, and it did tonight, and it added the thrill. But in the end, the best car won.
Mark, I mean, to me, I'm such a big fan of yours. What an emotional ride you have been through here. You're either winning or having something taken or stolen from you. I mean, you've won all the races this year. You've won 4. If they were to restart the points, you'd be leading the points. I mean, don't you got to just be like this right now?
Listen, we may not make this chase. I mean, they said we're 11th. I still don't believe it. They need to count it again. We were 13th, and the way I look at it, all the guys I'm racing finished right behind me, so they must have made a mistake. But, I mean, we haven't made it yet. We have had the craziest luck and stuff going. But I don't care. Right now, I'm just happy to win. Driving that car, I had the most fun yesterday, just in an hour of practice, the most fun I ever had. I mean, it was so much fun. I've been looking forward to this race, and it was fun tonight. Absolutely, that's what it's all about right there.
Mark, I have to here you're lapping everybody, and since you're lapping everybody, I have to ask you this: do you wish, or do you ever dream that you could have got with Hendrick 15 to 20 years ago?
My wife tells me all the time about that.
Hey, tape that.
Yeah, she gets on me pretty hard. I was very conservative. And you know what? I won races in that 6 car, and that's why I never left. Jack Roush gave me my chance, and I kept winning races, and I felt like I'd be a fool to leave there. And looking back, I don't regret it. Jack Roush is a good man, and we built that 6 car together, and we won a lot of races. And I'm just lucky that Jay Fry helped me, inadvertently got me this chance, and that I'm getting to do this now. It's amazing. I almost was on the couch.
You were
watching this stuff.
You were on the couch
24 times the last couple of years. I can't believe it. I can't believe. I mean, why would you quit if you can win?
Now, I'm upset with some media and some people, some fans picking on the drivers. Last week we saw a pretty controversial finish. It bothers me when they say you guys aren't driving. My question to you, Mark, you declined to be on some shows this week because you were outside this top 12. How important this chase is, how important this cup is. And I want the fans to get the emotion side, how you have to focus, how hard this job is.
It's unbelievable. I can't describe to you. Back, when you and I were racing, it is so much harder than it was then, Jimmy. I can't tell you.
The competition.
Every single, used to when we started these races, you could ride. You can't ride ever. You can never give up one position. It's from the start to the finish. Every lap of practice. It's intense. All the cars are very, very close. The team, it's just a dogfight all the time. And I don't think the fans realize how hard these drivers are grunting and gritting it out. I mean, they are digging every single lap and, pushing it right to the point of making some mistakes. And I made a mistake last week at Daytona, and I shouldn't with as much experience as I have, but we have to push it all the time, and when you push it all the time, you're going to make mistakes. But I agree with you. I don't think the fans understand how much we're putting into this.
So, Mark, what was the first thing? That was last week, last Saturday night, much different outcome this time. But what was the first thing that Mr. Rick Hendrick said when he keyed the microphone after this race was over?
I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Happy birthday. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's so cool. Jeff and I needed to run first and second, and with 15 to go, it looked like it was going to be a breeze for us, and I thought, gosh, this is going to be a long 15 laps, and I had no idea how long it really was. So it was really great to see Jeff come up there, but with the fresh tires, I was obviously felt very threatened, and so it was really cool. LifeLock made a fan a millionaire tonight, and you don't know what that means to a lot of people.
Mark,
congratulations, Mark.
There's only 8 to go, and
To the
you're
chase.
11th.
right, well, I still feel like I'm 13th. In my mind, I'm 13th, and I'm going to stay there.
That's scary for
Hey,
the competition.
We rescheduled you for Macon September 2nd.
I'll be there.
Hey, everybody gets mad about the state, but I got to
Kenny,
get
he's
it
got
in.
something else to think about right now. We got to let you go, Mark, so you can go on and
thanks.
celebrate.
All right.
Congratulations. Great job. Keep up the good work. And Bank of America also wants to congratulate you as well. Congratulations to Mark Martin from NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. He's back in victory lane again, and he leads the league when it comes to wins. Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway, everyone. You know, sometimes a race winner will come in victory lane and they'll say, man, we worked on that car all night long. We changed everything but the kitchen sink in the thing. But sometimes drivers come and say, we didn't change a dang thing all night. We were that good. And that's what Mark Martin said. That car, Alan Gustafson, was that good. You guys had an absolutely dominating car. And fortunately, it worked out in the end.
It did. It wasn't looking like it there for a little bit. But, yeah, Mark did an awesome job. The guys were awesome on pit road, too. And the car was dialed in. But those restarts were tricky. And, you know, you get three-time champ out there outside of you, and he makes it tough on you. But really proud of all the guys, and we pulled it off.
You know, you led 195 laps of this race tonight, but you know, let's back up to about 30 to go. You know, Jimmy gets a great restart. You drop back to third. What was going through your mind? Like, all right, you guys are teamwork, but what were you thinking? How can I get this thing back to lead?
Well, the tough thing about that was Jimmy knew our weakness. Jimmy's a smart guy. You know, we were free. Our car turned really good, so he got on our right rear quarter and sucked us around. The thing that was tough about that is it broke enough of our momentum to let the 83 by. I think we could have raced Jimmy and maybe tracked him back down, but when the 83 got by us, it was going to be tough. So we were going to need a little help. I think we could have, you know, Mark started again on the 83, but there wasn't going to be enough time for Jimmy. And fortunately, it worked out for us at the end, and the 83 and 11 got together, and Jimmy had his problems. I'm
going to make a statement, and I'd like to hear your comment. Double file restart, shootout style, has saved the competition side of the sport.
I'll say it's better for the fans. It's heck on me.
That's what I was thinking.
It's really tough, and you guys know this. You guys have raced a long time, won a lot of races. To run good over 40, 50 laps, you have got to turn. The car's got to turn good.
Right.
Our car turned really, really good. Not so good with Jimmy on our right rear quarter panel. So it makes it really, really tough. And some guys can go, I don't want to say steal them because that's not appropriate. I mean, you got to run good to line up second. You know, Jimmy was good, but it gives him a chance to go out there and do what he did. But it's great for the fans. I mean, it was an awesome race. So if it's better for the sport, I'll take it. But it's really tough for us.
You know, Alan, what's the process when, you know, you were up to 8th, you dropped out of the top 12, moved back in, dropped back out. What's the process that you have to do Monday morning to your team to keep them up? Say, guys, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to focus on.
Yeah, it's a good point, and that's really tough, and that's something we've had to do. Last 3 weeks haven't been good, but we've just tried to focus on the positives. You know, something in the last 3 weeks, you know, we haven't had good finishes was positive. You know, Daytona, we had a great car, got wrecked on lap 12, and those guys did a phenomenal job fixing it. So that's what we focused on. Good job on crash repair. Everybody dug in there, got it fixed. You know, you got to focus on the positive things and keep the team up because we've got a top 5 caliber team. We just got to get it there.
I guess it's experience in victory lane, but Alan, this cork that you pulled off your bottle went all the way out into the fans. A lucky fan grabbed it. They're going to have a big souvenir, but you did a good job shooting the champagne cork,
Good.
man.
You got to get it nice and shook up.
Experience, right?
Up, yeah.
I think you should sign that for some fan.
I will sign that for a fan.
Let's do that.
There.
We got three Sharpies.
Yeah, we're ready. We're always prepared.
We're ready to go.
Hey,
Alan, go ahead, Kenny.
Next week, the Sprint Cup Series is off.
Yes.
What will you do in your off time? Will you relax, or will you be hardcore and stare at the race car all week?
Well, I'm supposed to relax with my lovely wife and my beautiful children.
But
she's probably watching this and stomping her feet right now.
Right.
And my phone's getting ready to ring really, really loud. I'm probably going to have to be at the shop a little bit because we've got some important stuff coming up. But something cool is happening. Mr. Hendrick's 60th birthday is tomorrow, the boss. So I want to say happy birthday to him. And I do want to say our car owner actually is Mary Hendrick, and I want to say hey to Miss Mary and congratulations to her for winning their 4th race of the year, which is really cool. So
very good.
We got some good stuff happening.
So you're still going to work on your off week?
Yeah.
We have 8 to go. What's going to be the plan for the next 8?
We're going to go. We've really done the same thing all year. You know, we've run the same way. We go to the racetrack trying to win races, lead laps, do the best we can. There's some tracks that you worry about. You know, Indy, you worry about. Okay, it's a place I expect to run good. Mark Martin's awesome there. We've had a good package there. But okay, what happens if you line up second? You know, outside at Indy on a double file restart. Yep. You know, you got to be smart, and you know how bad it is there.
It's bad. It's
bad there. You know, the other one you think about, Watkins Glen. You know, that place is tough to get down into one with single file restarts, much less double. So there's going to be some places we're going to attack and do our deal, but there's going to be some places where Mark's going to have to be smart. But he's the best at that. Yeah. You know, who's better than saying, hey, well, y'all go. He did it tonight. You know? Y'all go on in there, and I'll just stick around the bottom here and drive off.
Alan, congratulations. Great job on another win for this season so far for this group, and they are now back in championship contention. Now, we're all going to take a weekend off. You still got the trucks in the Nationwide Series, but when we come back at it full time, it's going to be Indy. In 2 weeks, NASCAR visits one of racing's most storied venues, the Brickyard, and nobody brings the action like speed. Coverage from Indy begins Friday, July 24th. We suggest you be there. Monday, the gang on This Week in NASCAR will recap the Chicago race, plus take a look back to the first half of 2009. This season has been filled with exciting finishes, 3 first-time winners, and some spectacular wrecks. Catch it all on This Week in NASCAR, Monday, 8 Eastern, only on Speed. Welcome back to Victory Lane, everybody. You know, Jeff Gordon almost ended up here for the second time in his career at Chicagoland Speedway. He had fresher tires than Mark Martin, but it was a call at the end by Martin and his crew that got the win, but still, Jeff Gordon came home second.
There has never been denying that this guy is a racer, and he proved it again here tonight, man. You were coming at the end of the race, although that 5 car just a little bit better in fresh air.
Oh, man, he was really strong. I mean, we had 4 fresh tires and drove right through a bunch of traffic. And I had to fight with Casey Kane quite a bit there. He was really strong on the outside, and so I just couldn't clear him. That took a little bit off of our tires. So once we got into second, Mark pretty much had us. And then that restart, you know, I thought, all right, we got a shot at him. And he got a great jump, and I spun the tires. And at that point, it was, you know, trying to get myself going again. And then Casey Kane got to the outside of me again. So it was just a battle for second. But great effort by Mark and that whole 5 team, as well as this DuPont Patriot Academy Chevrolet. It was a nice night for us.
A nice night, especially with what you went through. I mean, the 99 getting up into you and all sorts of problems happening. It was a fight out there.
It was a real battle for us. It certainly wasn't an easy second place finish. You know, we were so strong yesterday in practice, and then, you know, today felt like we were just a little bit too tight. But every time we tried to free the car up, it seemed to not be good on those double file restarts. So we definitely had our work cut out for us, but what a great call by Steve Letarte to take those 4 tires. That thing was flying there at the end.
Jeff Gordon second in points, 5 out of the last 6 in the top 10, heading into a weekend off.
Bob Dillner, thanks a lot. You know, with that finish, Jeff Gordon also gains a little bit on Tony Stewart, but at the same time, Jeff Gordon is among the winners so far this year. He will get 10 bonus points if he doesn't win again, but we're going to some racetracks where Jeff Gordon is very good at, so he couldn't get more bonus points than just these 10.
Well, he's very, very successful at Indianapolis. So we're off next week. We go to Indy the following week. But the thing is, what impressed me tonight was they took a gutsy call. They pitted with, you know, some 20-odd laps to go. Comes out 10th, 4 fresh tires, and it really wasn't a big advantage, we didn't think. Well, it was. And I guess the thing I'm getting at here, Kenny, is these guys are getting themselves now, I think, prepared for this championship hunt. I think that, you know, Jeff's second to points. I think he's in pretty good shape.
I like what I see out of Jeff Gordon. I like his mentality, because Mark Martin wins the race. Jeff Gordon, all sweaty in his driver's suit, comes, tells the team, good job. You know, Hendrick Motorsports, you know, remember, has 4 cars. Dale Jr., the only one not having a win. So there's a little fraternity. Here he is, Jeff Gordon. You know what's funny is Jeff Gordon was the elder statesman, but now it is Mark Martin. But, I mean, there's 4 team members, right? Dale Earnhardt Jr., the only one not to win. These 3 are a fraternity. They are all winners. And I think you're right, Spence. I think they're all getting ready, you know, for the race, for the championship, as long as they can get Mark Martin in it.
Yeah, well, Mark Martin has to be there because he's going to have 4 wins and 40 bonus points, and he will lead us at the point if he makes it in the chase, and that's if he doesn't win again. But that's 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars once again running for a championship, and we've seen that a lot over the last couple of years. Thursday, it's the premiere of Big Block Thursday on Speed. 3 big hours of races, chases, and crashes with new episodes of Pink's All Out, Jacked at 9, Wrecked at 10. Got plans Thursday night? You do now. It's Big Block Thursday only on Speed. Next Saturday on Speed, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into Kentucky in a season of wild wrecks, fantastic finishes, and first-time winners. You just can't miss a single lap. The Built Ford Tough 225 live from Kentucky next Saturday at 6:30 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there. And here at Chicagoland tonight under the stars, we had a couple of stars of NASCAR get into each other on the racetrack. We're talking about championship contenders and former champions Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch, who got into a little extracurricular activity on the racetrack. And as always, there's 2 sides to every story.
24 got inside of me, and I got loose when we touched. And when we touched, he just came down and body slammed me, like, trying to get some room from me. But it was just a racing thing. 24 got inside of me and got me sideways. So
it looked like the 48 just ran out of room, and we got spun together at Sonoma and got hit here again. Trying to decide what's going on with the 48. I've lost a little bit of respect for him. I gave him room. He pounded us into the fence coming off turn 4, and we had a tire rub. Luckily, we got a yellow to come in and fix it instead of fencing it, and finished 17th. I mean, we were running 8th to 12th, had an okay car, but when he had that bad restart, man, he was like a ping pong ball just bouncing off of guys.
I don't know if it cost me the win, but he certainly body slammed me pretty hard. And then what was funny is he was coming to hit me again, and he saw the 24 on the apron. I think at that time he realized that I didn't run him up into the track on, run him up the track on purpose. So. At the end of the race, everybody's tempers are high. He's one of those guys that, his temper can get away from him. And when he first hit me, it was like, all right, man, this is racing. This isn't necessary.
I didn't wreck him. I got wrecked.
So, as we said, there are 2 sides to every story. And Kenny Wallace, we heard the 2 sides right there.
You know what? I could only wish I was as talented as both these drivers. But I must say, throughout my hundreds of NASCAR starts, I've learned one thing, Jimmy Spencer. Watch the replay before you make a statement.
Kenny, I agree with you. Jimmy Johnson, the 24 car was 20 feet away from you. The 24 car didn't play at all into this. You simply ran Kurt into it was not Kurt's fault. You wrecked Kurt. And what Kurt was doing was saying, hey, I had enough of that. But, go back to Sonoma. You wrecked Kurt at Sonoma, and then you want to put the blame on Kurt. Now, it wasn't Kurt's fault, fans. Jimmy Johnson lost his temper there himself, ran out of racetrack, body slammed the 2 car, and now he's trying to reverse the rule. So my opinion there, Kurt, you're in the clear. Jimmy, look at this tape.
Hold on.
That's a good thing about us, though. We get to look at the tape then.
I know it. Kenny.
Race fans, Jimmy Johnson loves Kurt Busch.
No, Jimmy Spencer.
Jimmy Spencer.
I
don't think Jimmy Johnson loves Kurt Busch right now. They just told us they did.
To tell you from what I see.
And that's that. that's Jimmy's statement on it after looking at the videotape. Got to take another quick break here on NASCAR Victory Lane from the Chicagoland Speedway. When we come back, we'll wrap up what turned out to be a very wild night under the lights just south of the Windy City.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate, and by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America banking center today.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed from Chicagoland. Every year that Denny Hamlin has raced in NASCAR's top series, he has been a championship contender. Same story this year, but he's gone about it very quietly because although he had a 5th place finish tonight, he is still winless this season, but in championship contention. Let's go back to Bob Dillner.
Denny Hamlin right in the middle of all the battles there at the end of the race, and you should have seen his car banged up side on the left and the right side. But what was your vantage point of everything going on?
It was a tight one, but the double file restart is what caused it all, and it was definitely a good opportunity for us. I loved the fans couldn't ask for much more. I mean, we were dicing it up there, and I got into the 48, getting into turn 1 right there, and got him loose, and put position on the 5, and I thought it was pretty good until the 83 came up in there and got a little loose up under us, and got us up the track. But we were trying to everyone's trying to win, and that's all of us battling for a win right there.
And I know how eager you are to get a win this year here in Cup competition, but the role you're on right now, kind of at the right time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, we're showing potential. I feel like we still could be a lot better. There's a lot of things we need to work on in our car. Our 2 teammates didn't run with a Dern today. We just got to keep working on our cars and getting them better. We got a long way to go.
4th top 5 in the last 5 races, now up to 5th in points.
Bob, thanks a lot, and that's a winner talking right there. And Denny Hamlin, he's used to being in victory lane, and although he's 5th in points, as Bob said, he wants to get the bonus points with the win, because once you reset, every win gives you 10 bonus points. So he's going to be behind a lot of other drivers if he doesn't get a win.
But I got to tell you, I've been paying attention, but Denny Hamlin, 5 top 5s, that's incredible in the last 5 races, 5th in the points. Spence, I think he's poised. He was challenging for the win. No, he didn't have the best car, but double file restarts put him there for a chance for the win.
And the thing is, Kenny, what you hear him saying is that, they're bringing better cars, but unfortunately his teammates didn't run really well. So, what Gibbs said about 3 weeks ago, they need to get 5% better and then work on it. So definitely it's not the Gibbs organization of last year that we expected. So, Denny not winning, Kyle having a rough night tonight. Bright side of the whole thing, they're 5th in the points, but not looking like they have a shot at this chase as we speak.
And also Kyle Busch, though, he's still in the championship contention. He's still there despite having a really rough couple of weeks. It's obviously wearing on him because he's been so close to winning so many races. That stuff doesn't happen at Daytona right now. He's got yet another win. We're talking about him with 4 as well as Mark Martin.
Well, the big thing there, too, is that even if you don't win the race, yeah, you go into a deficit in the chase. But at the end of the day, these top 5s, very important, Kenny.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing better than winning. We all want to win. Win, man, I've obsessed my life with it. It's made me miserable. You talk to Mark Martin, I just want to win. But right now, I must say, Kyle Busch, he can't focus on winning, race fans. He's got a points race. Now, he's got to make sure that he runs top 5 from here on out. They got to make sure that they have a team meeting and go, okay, let's not get down on ourselves, because looky here, guys, Kyle Busch, only 13 points in the good.
Now, this thing has changed a lot since last week. 2 weeks ago it was really tight. Then it opened up after Daytona. Now, Jimmy, we're tight again.
Well, and the thing is, Johnny, is what's shocking to me is the Childress teams not being a factor. The closest one is 15th with Clint, but also the Roush teams, 12th and 13th. Matt Kenseth, don't forget, won 2 races this year. Big story here. A lot of work these guys got to do this week before we go to the Brickyard, baby.
All right, we'll get a week off to think about it. What are you guys going to do?
I'm going to an appearance in Ohio Sunday. I'm going to race with Cale Yarborough, Harry Gatnos, because I'm looking.
That's cool.
And I was going to race. I will be at Gateway Saturday night for the nationwide race. Woo!
Congratulations to Mark Martin on yet another win.
This is Ward Green from Chicagoland. A lot of things are different and unique.
This is it. There's only 8 to go.
Races running, baby. That's what it's about. That's why I'm here, and I love it.
Sweet home Chicago. The bad part is we need about a month here, in my opinion.
You cannot say thank you enough to the great fans that we have. Look at the change.